All right. Sounds like a whole
Dragon
bunch of good
SpaceX
comm checks.
launch configuration and comm checks complete.
Excellent. I love that I got in Atlantis
Dragon
as the best
copy.
shuttle. And so you couldn't say anything, Max, because we had to go through comm checks.
I was cut off like 2 or 3 times. Yeah, that's yeah. This
That was
was
amazing.
better though. I have to say though.
All right, everyone can have their own favorite shuttle as long as it's the space shuttle and not Buran. But the actual poll in chat is shuttle versus Buran, so we don't have to pick shuttle orbiter favorites.
Well, then we should do that. We should have that next, shouldn't we?
See, people are saying in chat that Buran didn't fly with crew, and I'm like, yeah, that's why it's the best because it didn't need crew to
Wrong.
fly.
Categorically wrong. They could have auto landed the shuttle if they wanted to.
Yeah, with a long cable that they had to develop after Columbia. I can do that too, you know.
It was something that was going to be a thing even from the early days of the shuttle. They just ended up not using it too much
Sure,
or
put the cable
implementing
in.
it. Oh my god! All right. We have started a disaster here. Anyways, 2 hours 7 minutes to go. The launch of Axiom-2 on booster 1080. We are waiting for hatch closure. We just went through a whole bunch of comm checks. And everything seems to be progressing smoothly. Max, any weather updates?
The sun is back out, and the clouds are seeming to thin out over the Kennedy Space Center. So it's providing enough shielding from the sun at times, but honestly, so far it's still an absolutely gorgeous afternoon, which is great news.
Excellent. Starship 24 is asking,
so
will
we're finishing
Starship...
up with those comm checks. And I want to point out for those that might be tuning in for the first time or might not be familiar with
Hey.
Thanks, Kate. All right, back to our broadcast. Let's see here. Starship 24 was asking, will Starship interior be similar to Crew Dragon? I mean, obviously it'll be much bigger, but one could, sort of extrapolate that they'll learn things from Dragon, sort of like what we're talking about with the rotating seats, and be able to apply that to Starship. So probably similar. Well, we've got the weather radar up on the left-hand side once again. Things are looking good. Nothing really super troubling there, right?
Doesn't seem to be.
Bad.
Things seem to be trending in the right direction, as we like to say.
I love Philip. Philip Sloss in our back channel saying shuttle auto land and CSCS are different things. So thank you, Philip. Shuttle could auto land.
Yeah, with a crew on board.
Oh my god! Oh, I'm not. All right, we've got the timeline on the left hand side. Alex, take us through the timeline. Where are we at, and what are we going to see next?
Okay, so we've just had the crew on board Dragon. They are seated on Dragon. They have done all of the comm checks, the suit leak checks. They are now ready to, the Pat Ninjas are ready now for that hatch closure on Freedom. And after that, we should be, hopefully it is, in good condition on the first try. And then it's going to be a little bit of a lull for about an hour or so as they go through all the system checks and they clear the pad and everything. They had that extra hour in between there sort of to have a little bit of a buffer time in case the hatch is not properly closed and or properly sealed, I should say. And so that's where we're going to go right now. After that, they're going to go into all the go, no-go polls and into the propellant load sequence. There you can see the clock at the press site. I think I know who that person is.
Is that Manuel?
I think yes, that's Manuel.
Shout out. What up, Manuel?
¿Qué pasa?
It's funny because when you guys were talking on comms not too long ago, he came over to me and asked me where he should go do his little bit. I'm like, dude, go by the countdown clock.
Right.
And as fate has
should
it,
appear.
It's extra amusing too, just as a quick aside, because we've often joked that he is everywhere. Like he's just constantly everywhere at every launch,
really
every
is.
activity. So only fitting that he would be in that shot as well.
Fair.
It's like a reverse Where's Waldo, where it's just like really easy to see him in all the It's just the only person in the entire field.
If Manny's not there, honestly, it's kind of worrying.
Right. All right, let's do some more viewer questions as we wait to... Oh, the crew's waving. Are we about to close the hatch?
Yeah, probably final hatch
It appears
closure
so.
procedure.
Dragon SpaceX closeout team is taking final steps in preparation for side hatch closure. Stand by for transition to pad hatch closed. Ensure all items are secure from now through launch.
Copy. Closeout teams performing the final actions. We have secured all items prior to launch, and we're ready for the flight computer transition.
So great news there as we...
Radical Isotope in chat is saying that Kate said that they do not have games on their iPads. I find that hard to believe.
They officially don't have games on their iPads.
Not even like
Yep.
Snake or something? Come on. All right, hatch is getting closed.
I have a question for you both.
Go.
Go ahead.
In the shuttle program, what was your favorite call out or milestone pre-launch?
Ooh.
I'm too young for that. I mean, I was around and I knew about space, but I wasn't too in depth with, like I'm now. I was not a space nerd.
I don't know about pre-launch, but I always liked Clear the Tower. Like
Yeah, the roll program
Shuttle
call
Endeavors
out.
Clear the Tower. Also the roll program call out. There's a reason it goes in the intro because it's awesome.
Yep.
I don't know, Max, what do you have a favorite? Looks like the hatch is closed. Now they're gonna do a pressure check.
Yep. Well, actually, when they were going through their suit leak checks, the one call out that kept coming to mind from shuttle was crew close and lock your visors and initiate O2 flow.
It's like it's business time.
It's go time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's a good one. Let's see here. James Sargent says, "Awesome coverage, guys. Is the booster already fueled?" No.
Hey, if this were the shuttle, then it will be.
3.
Dragon copies. We'll follow along.
Okay.
So if we were to see
Actually-
a pressure loss during this leak check, it would be an indication that something with the seal isn't sitting quite right, in which case the closeout team would be able to reopen the hatch, wipe it down, inspect it. Of course, whenever we are helping the crew...
Hopefully that doesn't happen.
Right.
I
Yeah.
actually added this question, a little bit of more shuttle here. Shuttle actually had the whole thing fueled when the crew was on board the vehicle. So
Yes.
it was already fueled when the crew arrived. It was alive, as they were saying, because you have all of the vents and all of the pressurization systems and everything already ongoing on the vehicle. Here, Dragon is fueled, but the booster on the rocket, the first and second stages are not fueled right now. They did load a little bit of the pressurizing helium on the COPVs of the booster and the second stage ahead of time. They're gonna load the last few of that while in the countdown, but right now the rocket is not loaded with propellants.
To add on to that, Alex, I believe, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think
Mhm.
Dragon and Falcon, Dragon is the first crewed spacecraft to where the crew board, where the launch vehicle is not fueled. Because if you think back to
Mhm.
Shuttle and the Saturn V, Titan II, and in Atlas, all those rockets were already fueled when
Yeah.
the crew boarded.
Yeah, we take it for granted now, but SpaceX
do.
had to fight a serious fight with NASA in order to be able to do this load and go procedure. And that is all because the way Falcon 9 works, it gets the maximum efficiency and the most bang for their buck out of that propellant by sub-chilling it, like we were talking about earlier, which, can be tricky. It can mean that you don't have a long launch window, or that you have to take so long to do a recycle or what have you. But it also gives you a bunch more performance into your rocket. And we're seeing some of that performance used today, as this is the first RTLS of a crew mission. But all that is to say, I do wonder how different it is, walking up to a quote unquote alive vehicle versus walking up to one that is not yet alive. I feel like walking up to a vehicle that's frosty and hissing and is full of propellant in one way is more cool, but it also just seems kind of bonkers to
More
me.
scary.
Yeah, like it's a little bit more sketch. Like I immediately think of the what was that? A Titan II, the missile accident, like the I think it's called the Damascus incident, where the guy in the missile silo dropped a socket wrench and it fell into the silo and it hit the rocket and caused an explosion. It was like a whole thing. Fueled rockets are not to be trifled with. So in some ways it makes more sense, but I do wonder also, sorry if I'm just blathering on here, but I do wonder also, what is it like to be inside the crew capsule? Like, do they hear propellant starting to flow into the vehicle? Do they hear things hissing? Like, that's got to be cool. Alex, tell me more.
They did talk about that, and they hear the vehicle just coming alive with. They can hear all the valves on like even when they activate the crewscape system is armed. You can hear the valves opening, so that in any occasion the propellants can be pressurized and the engines can light up. That is sort of one of the things that they do when they arm the escape system. The valves, the liquid oxygen, the kerosene, and everything loading into the vehicle. They can hear all of that because it's right next to them. It's bonkers.
It's so cool. Who knew going to space is cool? Let's see here. Happy Mom, thanks for becoming a PadRat member. Once again, we really appreciate all of our members. Thank you so much for becoming a PadRat member and for showing us that support so we can continue to bring our coverage to everybody around the world, whether or not they can support us with the member program or super chats or what have you. Let's see. TFV is asking, is Peggy the pilot or commander? She's the commander, right, Max?
Yes, sir. Peggy is the commander for this mission, and it makes perfectly good sense given her extensive space travel history. And I think this is the first flight for everybody else on board, so they're being led by a pro.
As you would want to be. I mean, it makes sense.
Absolutely.
Let's see here. Let's do some more viewer questions. Flawed Perspective. Where was that one from Flawed? Flawed Perspective wants to know, when the FTS is armed, who decides to trigger it on a crew mission? I think it's the same, like, range safety officer as any other launch.
Nope.
No? Go ahead.
No?
Go ahead, Alex.
Remember, Falcon 9 has an automated flight termination system.
Oh, that's true.
So
Right,
it is the own rocket that decides to, terminate the flight. It controls itself.
Presumably, it's not going to do that until Crew Dragon has separated and is safely away from the vehicle.
Correct.
Yeah, so the way that it is done is once both the FTS and the Crew Dragon detect a problem with a rocket, the Dragon commands a shutdown of the engines on the first stage or the second stage if it's on second stage flight, and that command is sent. And as soon as that command is sent, it gets off. It doesn't care if the engines actually shut down or anything. It just gets off the rocket, and the rocket then does its thing of failing flight termination system, whatever. But at least once it is activated, the crew is already out.
All right, so you may have noticed the absence of a voice on this stream. DOS is not on for a crew launch, which is sort of unique. So what is DOS doing right now? Well, he's doing an NSF Live. We have another stream running right now. DOS is doing NSF Live in partnership with the Intrepid Museum. We do one of these partnership NSF Lives every month. He's actually talking with the crew recovery team and talking about what they're going to be doing all the sort of the details of what they do, and in a little bit we'll be talking about what they're going to be doing on launch day. So we will listen into that when we get there. But yeah, that is another stream that we have running right now. We also, DOS has also been working on a video that we're about to go live with. What happened with Starship? Everything broken down from the first launch in excruciating detail. Ryan did a great job editing this very rapidly. And DOS did a great job just sort of explaining everything. This is going to be an epic video. It's like an hour long, if I'm not mistaken. So that is going to be a real treat when it goes live. So make sure you are subscribed and have the notification and all the YouTube things going. It's premiering today at 6 p.m.
Yeah, we also had a few community posts on YouTube. So if you want to see a sneak peek of what it's going to have, you can go to the community tab on the channel and you see some of the screenshots of the video. And yeah, it's going to be really cool because we go in depth. We go into all of the stuff that failed and what SpaceX is doing now to sort of, not repeat those errors, because that's what they do, right? They fail, fix, and fly again. And that's their philosophy. And that's what we sort of look into, the things that fail, and then what's going to happen next. What sort of things are they going to be using to fix those things?
I am spamming the link in chat, so click on the link, get the notification. That's going live at 6 p.m. later on today. It's going to be great. I'm really excited for this one. We don't always do the sort of longer, like, deep dive videos, and I think, if these do well, maybe we'll do some more. So hopefully you all like that. But that's what DOS is up to. Stay tuned, and we'll hear more from the Intrepid Museum folks here in a little bit. All right, Jasper K, thank you for upgrading to a Red Team membership. Don't forget, you get all kinds of behind-the-scenes stuff. You get members-only photos and videos and preview videos and all kinds of cool stuff as a Red Team member. Plus, you get the chat emoji. So thank you so much for becoming a member, Jasper K. I can't hear the name Jasper and not think of the Simpsons character. Which immediately makes me think of the one where he was like had his beard stuck in the pencil sharpener. Anyways, nobody knows what I'm talking about.
I do know.
I've watched way too much Simpsons. Musical Wolves, thank you for the support. They say, how soon before launch does the water tower fill? Who knows this trivia answer here?
Max, you want to go?
That sounds like a no to me. Alex, go.
So you'll see way long, deeper into the countdown, about 2 minutes. You're gonna see the sort of like a leak from the tower, from the water tower. That is not a leak. That is, you could call it a leak, but it is sort of on purpose. That is not that there's a problem with the tower, with the water tower. That is sort of the way of checking that the water tower is full of water. So that's when it is fully loaded. The water is usually on, I believe it is on ground tanks between LC-39A and LC-39B. If you look at Google Maps, you can see a little bit to the northwest, from LC-39A. They have like 2 big tanks there. Those are for the water. And they push those using pressure and everything, and they push up to the tower, and during the countdown, that tower is being loaded and everything. And that's how they make sure that it is fully loaded.
It's like a nominal overflow. Let's see. Drew Nar, thank you for the support. They're saying, does the pilot sit on the left or right seat? I swear NASA changed it up just to mess with everyone. What's the seating arrangement, Alex? And is it constant?
I believe it is the same as the shuttle, because on the shuttle it was on the right, and here is also on the right, looking into the controls. So if you're seated on the seats and looking up to the controls, the commander is on the left and the pilot is on the right. And I believe that was the same as well for the shuttle. Maybe Philip can correct me.
Now we all wait for Philip. Let's see here. John Murray becoming a PadRat member. Thank you so much, John. A whole bunch of new members on this stream. It's so awesome. Like, thank you so much, everybody. Synth Guy. Ooh, I wonder what kind of synth. Becoming a Red Team member. Leslie P becoming a Pad Rat member, and Game Time UK registered trademark becoming a Capcom member. Game Time, you get perhaps the best of all perks at Capcom level and above. We have Discord access. We have a awesome members Discord where all kinds of fun stuff goes down. All sorts of different channels for whatever your interest in spaceflight may be. There's a small sat channel. There's a tech chat. There's a gaming channel. There's all kinds of cool stuff. There's a Starship channel, of course. So yeah, Discord access. You get it. Enjoy it, Game Time. We hope you do. We love coming up with cool ways to show our thanks for all of the members who support what we do. If you're considering becoming a member, please give it a try. I mean, worst case, you cancel it in a month, but I don't think you will because
Manuel's is still there.
Yeah, he's still going.
Oh my goodness, he is.
Somebody screenshot this and text it to him, please.
Oh, I wish I had his number. Wait, I do have his number actually.
I suspect you do.
Oh, there you go, Max. You're gonna be the one.
Make it happen.
Somebody send me a screenshot so I can. I'm not in the.
Yeah, stand by.
Yeah,
I got you. Inside baseball. Let's see here. Sarah E, thank you for the support. They say, just a shout out to the UK people, but about 15 minutes after launch, Dragon should be visible to the naked eye, going over, headed west to east. # Discord fan club. Thank you for that, Sarah. That is a great shout out. So yeah, Sarah E from our Discord.
I know her. Yeah.
So yeah, if you are in the UK region, make sure you go outside about 15 minutes after launch and look up. All right. I got Alex, answer a question. I got to do a thing.
Well, I was also gonna say, because I said, oh yeah, I know her, and that that is sort of the way that you can know that I'm very active on Discord.
Right.
Because I talk a lot there. Yeah, and yeah, I can grab a question right here. Hold up. Because there was one where a random person asked before, how many Gs does the crew pull at maximum during flight? And that is a great question, because hopefully in under nominal situations, sort of the maximum Gs that they're going to pull, at least during launch, is 3.5. But if they have an escape system, kind of situation, that could be up to about 6, I think. Which, knock on wood, it doesn't happen. But if it were to happen, that is sort of the situation that it will have for Gs. Now, for re-entry, they will see sort of the same peak Gs, but it doesn't last too long. It is about 6 Gs, more or less, on re-entry. But again, it's like a few seconds only. So not that big of a deal. I mean, it's still a lot of Gs, but...
Yeah, 3.5 on the way up is not... it doesn't sound like a lot, but it's still 3.5 times your body weight, which is insane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, based on how the crew is oriented in the capsule at that point on ascent. At that point, when they're pulling those Gs, you're flying on only stage 2. It's not like you're in a fighter jet where the Gs are top to bottom on your body, like pulling, or where you're being pushed down from your head to your feet. In a rocket, at least in Dragon, with the way you're sitting, all that weight is being pushed on your chest. So it's like 3 or 3.5 times your body weight, literally pushing on your chest.
Yep.
So you can imagine how that feels, or how maybe uncomfortable that might be to some people.
Yeah, it's no joke. I've always wanted to try out like a centrifuge or whatever, just to see, how many Gs I can handle.
Yes.
It would be really fun. I went to, what do you call it? Not Space Camp. It was run by the same company. It was like fighter jet camp. It was called Aviation Challenge or something like that. And they, as one of the things you did as your final test or whatever of the week, they put you in it wasn't like a real centrifuge, like a crazy cool one you see in a movie or something, but it was a thing that spun you around and subject you to G-force. Somebody got a notification. I have no idea what G-forces I was subjected to, but it was definitely fun. But 3.5 does not sound like a lot, but is quite a bit. Phoenix Shade in chat saying some roller coasters pull as much as 5 Gs, but it's brief. It's like for a fraction of for an instant. It's not for like a sustained period of time as the vehicle is accelerating or something like that. Anyways, speaking of, well, wait, so it was 3.5 on the way up. Alex, what did you say it was on the way down?
About 6 Gs, more or less. It
Yeah,
kind of
Good
depends.
lord.
Oof.
Yeah, but it's for a few seconds only.
Oh man, sign me up. But yeah, speaking of re-entry, we were talking about Das doing that museum show right now. He had a chance to ask some questions about re-entry and how all of that goes. Let's take a look at that.
That's the interesting thing. Like, we talk about crew recovery, and everybody knows, like, they've come back from space, they've already done their mission, and then they're going to splash down, and here are the zones, and, the splashdown is the big news when it comes to crew recovery. But crew recovery teams also have to be prepared for launch, right? Sam, start that off for us.
Yeah, we're absolutely prepared on launch. So we actually have 2 separate teams. We have what's considered a return after fail to dock launch team, which is on standby during the launch mission operations, just in case something happens where if the capsule gets up to space and starts to rendezvous with the ISS, they encounter some kind of a difficulty and they're not able to dock the way they're supposed to, and they have to come back home. We kind of try and pick them up like we would any other mission to what we call a supported area, where we have our NASA team members. If it's a SpaceX flight, our SpaceX team members would be there as well. If it's a Boeing flight, we would have our Boeing team with us. Gotcha. And we would pick them up like any other recovery mission.
Gotcha. Lily, I got the answer back, and they're already in the capsule.
Wow.
So you could have to go out and wave at 39A. I was completely out of the loop on exactly where they were in that count, but
moving quick, I like it.
Yeah. So there's one sort of thing where they've gone all the way up. They're trying to, their mission, like with Axiom-2, they're trying to rendezvous with the International Space Station, and something goes wrong, right? This isn't the Expanse, where, I don't know, open the airlock and hold your breath and dive into the other ship. Or, that's not how this works, right? If something goes wrong and they can't dock, they would actually come back down out of orbit. Do they shoot for the normal recovery locations, or are there like backup recovery locations? How does that work?
Yeah, on a good day, we take them right back to a recovery location where we would normally be doing our returns to at the end of a mission. SpaceX has 7 different locations around the state of Florida, both in the Atlantic and the Gulf, which we consider supported sites where we can go pick them up after what is unfortunately would have been a shorter mission, something that they, something went wrong if we had to go get them this early. But otherwise, we'll pick them up from one of those locations at the end of their full mission and bring them back home.
Dragon, avionics on countdown 1, comm check.
Dragon has avionics loud and clear.
Avionics loud and clear. Stand by for comm check by the ground segment engineer.
Dragon, ground segment on countdown 1, comm check.
Dragon has ground segment loud and clear.
Ground segment loud and clear. Stand by for comm check by launch control.
Dragon, launch control on countdown 1, comm check.
And Dragon, or launch control, we have you loud and clear inside Dragon.
Launch control loud and clear. Stand by for comm check by the chief engineer.
Dragon, chief engineer on countdown 1 with a comm check.
We have you loud and clear, Gerst, on 1. Thanks.
All right. This completes the Falcon 9 Dragon comm checks. Thank you.
All right, so we had that little bit from Das, and there we have some comm checks completed.
Yep, because we had earlier comm checks with Mission Control in Hawthorne, and this was with Launch Control Center at KSC Fire Room 4.
Perfect. All right. Well, things are progressing along exactly as we want them to. Hooray! John Murray upgrading to Capcom membership. Thank you, John. Once again, at Capcom level and above, you get Discord access. So pop into Discord and say hey, John. And Alex Gar, thank you for the support. Very cool. All right, let's do some more questions. Whitney and John Cook are asking, us to explain the need for such extensive seat belting for the crew. Why do they need to be strapped in so thoroughly? I mean, I think the answer to that is because they're going to space, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's also because of the, we were talking before about the G's that they have, the loads, those G's during ascent, and also in case of an abort, you need to be strapped in very properly, right? And so that is very important for you to be strapped in, because any jolt in one direction or the other it could be very serious damage.
Yeah, you don't want crew to become FOD.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see here. Looking for some more questions. Max, we might have a hot mic on you, buddy. Let's see here. A bunch of these are like really technical questions I do not know the answer to. Alex, does any of these strike your interest?
Let's see.
Innovation 2020X is asking if one and just one of the engines failed, the ship can continue ascent or it has to abort. I assume you're not talking about Starship, but we're talking about Crew Dragon here. I believe Falcon 9 can lose an engine on startup, and they'll still get to space. They probably won't go to the ISS, but they'll still get to space.
They could go to the ISS, yes.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah, actually, the first commercial cargo mission, the CRS-1 mission, had an engine failure, and that was Falcon 9 Tic-Tac-Toe, which had way lower performance than this one.
For people who don't know, that he says Falcon 9 Tic-Tac-Toe because the engine layout on Falcon 9 used to be a tic-tac-toe arrangement, like a grid of a square grid, versus now it's like the octaweb with everything sort of arranged in a circle around a center engine. That old tic-tac-toe engine arrangement, I look at it now and I'm like, that just looks busted by comparison.
Yeah, it was very, very weird.
Let's see here. Yep, I guess we got the timeline again. Alex, run through the timeline for us. Where are we at? What are we going to see next?
Sure. So we're right now in that sort of lull between crew side hatch closure on Dragon. They did leak checks, and the leak checks are good. So if you bet at the start of the stream, we had a sort of like a bet on whether they will have any issues or not. My bet was that they won't have any issues with a hatch closure, and they didn't have any issues. So there you go. I won.
Nice, you did. Good callback.
I was optimistic for once, and I won. And right now they're sort of doing what it's called a fuel bleed in on the engines, where they sort of test the valves going into the Merlin engines on the first stage. Then we're gonna see at about T-1 hour, they're gonna run their internal go-no-go pulse ahead of activation, well, more like arming the escape system on Dragon and going ahead with the propellant load on Falcon 9. So that's where we are right now.
Sweet. Thank you for that. Let's see here. Don't forget, everybody watching, if you have any questions, just type your question into chat at NASA Spaceflight. Ask the question. We might answer it. We probably will answer it. I'm looking for questions right now. Max, how are you feeling? What is the feeling on the ground right now out there at Kennedy Space Center?
It's still bright and sunny out here. The crowds are starting to gather a bit more, getting closer to T0 now. You know what? It feels like a great day to go to space.
It looks like a great day to go to space. Excellent. Just about an hour and 34 minutes to go. Alex, how long per that timeline do we have until fueling?
We should be about 1 hour from fueling. So that fueling is at T-minus 35 minutes. So less than 1 hour from that.
All right. Just under an hour from the start of propellant loading. We are getting closer and closer to sending these 4 astronauts into space. Here's kind of a fun one. Liva? I have no idea how to say your name. L44VA is asking, why do they use Merlin engines and not Raptor engines on Falcon 9? Because Merlin and Falcon were sort of built and designed for each other, right?
Well, yeah, because this is sort of like the chicken and egg problem, right?
Right.
Merlin and Falcon came first, and then Raptor came later. So
yeah, and if you change the engine, you're changing the propellants, which means you're changing the tank size, which means you're changing the whole rocket, which means you might as well just design a new rocket.
Yeah.
People may not know this or not remember. Falcon 9 was designed sort of as one of its design.
Unbearably cute, if I do say so myself. We actually have
What?
a replica of the microgravity indicator on
Dragon, SpaceX, for awareness, the closeout team has departed the crew arm.
All right, closeout
Dragon
crew has
copy.
departed the crew arm.
There we go.
We get a teaser for the zero gravity indicator? I didn't hear what they said it was.
I think it's some sort of bear or something with
it's
an
a bear.
Axiom suit. Yeah,
Cute.
a bear.
Called Gigi. It's a little dog.
It is funny because
bear
they're
thing.
announcing that, and the funny thing is the zero G indicator wears an Axiom spacesuit.
Yeah.
And Axiom is providing the spacesuits for the NASA crew to wear on SpaceX's Starship. So it's not going to be the only time here with Crew Dragon, and Axiom astronauts and things like that, where Axiom and SpaceX will come together. There you can see the zero G indicator, GG or something like that, and
Nice.
it's wearing the Artemis suit provided by Axiom, and yeah, the astronauts are going to use that on Starship. So it's going to be another time where they're going to be partnering as well.
It looks kind of mean. Like, it looks like it's mad at me. Scary bear.
I'm mad at you. I want to land on the moon.
Cool, so that's the zero G indicator. I completely lost the train of thought of what we were talking about before we heard the zero G indicator stuff.
I didn't either.
All right, well, moving right along. Here's one for you, Max. Daily Hopper, is that the real Daily Hopper? Is asking, favorite place to eat near the Cape?
Oh boy. That's like asking me to choose between my own children if I had any.
Are you a Leoncito guy, or are you more of a...
But El Leoncito is probably in my top 5. I would say my top 2 would probably have to be, in no particular order. I'll name my top 2. Third Culture Kitchen in Titusville, phenomenal joint. I get their steak stir fry every single time, and it slaps. And then also, if you go down towards Port Canaveral, there's a restaurant called the Rising Tide. I think it is actually a favorite spot for SpaceX personnel, I believe. So I think those would be my top 2 for sure, and I would highly recommend both to anybody who's in the area.
All right, then. Thank you for that. Let's see here. Synth Guy is asking, how many minutes after launch will it pass over West Europe? I think Sarah said 15 minutes. About 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 15 to 20. Usually, yeah, on the lower end, just in case. I'm not going to catch it. No.
I was going to... Okay, that was my next question.
Too far north for me.
Ah, dang it.
I'm on the southwest of Europe. Yep.
Stupid geography.
It goes over here on the second orbit, but we'll see if it is even visible or not.
John Murray is asking how they find the Discord to join. John, I forget if you became a Capcom member or if you were just asking, but here, let me just go into chat. You can type !Discord, and Nightbot will pop up. Oh, NASA Spaceflight's got it for me. Thanks, Chris. Sometimes it can take a little bit to propagate, but yeah, when you get that, if you are a Capcom member or above, pop into Discord and say hey. All right, hour and 29 minutes to go. Just under an hour and a half. to launch 4 people into space. Human spaceflight. What a thing. Speaking of human spaceflight things, you can check out shop.nasaspaceflight.com. And we've got the human spaceflight collection. And I love this design with the dragon and the worm-ish font. I love this shirt. So yeah, if you want to represent human spaceflight, we've got this design in t-shirt form. I love it. Pauline did a great job on that one. We've also got, because this is going to be an RTLS, we've got the launch entry and landing shirt that shows the layout of engines in particular phases of flight. Yeah, this is perfect.
Well, but it is the same as the entry burn, so we'll let it pass.
Right. We need another one that's launch entry boostback or launch boostback entry, and it also comes in mug form. So yeah, check out the merch store. We really appreciate it. Everybody supporting us however you can, whether that's getting a mug or a shirt or just hitting the like button. Oh, we also have metal prints. Let's do the metal prints. How about? We have some excellent shots from Starship's first flight, from the whole crew.
Oh, can we see the one from Max? Oh, come on.
Nope. And we've got Falcon 9s. We've got all rockets, really. We're really going all over the place with this one. But yes, we have a whole bunch of amazing metal prints. They're printed right on metal. They don't need a frame. They come with
one
everything
for the landing legs. That's awesome. Oh, this one.
Yeah. So yeah, metal prints. Check them out. The cool thing about the metal prints is the photographer that took the photo gets a little bit of the money from the sale. So you're helping out the photographer as well as NSF. But yeah, anyways, that's the merch plug. Thank you everybody for considering grabbing some of our stuff for your wall or your body. Looks like Douglas. Douglas, what did you get? Douglas got something from the store. If you don't know, you can put a little message in the store purchases in the same way that you can put messages in a super chat and whatnot. So they got a hat, and what else did they get? Let's see. And a patch.
Oh, the Starship patch.
I still need to get one of those. I'm worried they're going to run out, so note to self.
See, I got it right as we announced that. We were on a Raptor side with Daz and I I was like, I'm going to run in, and I have it here.
Lucky.
Right now I have it in my hands. I will show it if we were doing cams like in a Live or something like that, but I cannot show it.
Let's see here. Oh, here we go. I gotta get a screenshot of this. Alex, talk about something.
Sure. 1 hour 25 minutes, so you can see there on the clock. I can grab a few questions here. Okay, so I have one here because it seems like we should remind this, I guess. Thomas Sara, I think is the name. They say, did you just say it is RTLS, Arnold Crew Dragon Offshore Recoveries? Well, the Crew Dragon, it is recovered on offshore on the ocean, but this time on this flight, the booster is landing back on land. So till now, we've seen all of the crew launches having the booster being landed on the drone ship, but for this mission, they're starting now with land landings because they apparently discovered that they can do that. They have a little bit of that performance to spare on the Falcon 9 to be able to do that.
Yeah,
so,
basically
this mission,
all of the flights of Falcon 9 that they've done at this point have given them enough data to be more confident that they'll have enough propellant left in the tanks to do certain things. And in this case, the certain thing is returning to launch after launching a crew.
Yep, and that also means that future crew missions, it's not just this one, it will also be future crew missions as well. That they will do that.
All right. What else you got, Alex?
Well, I can grab more questions if you want me to.
Yeah, please. Here's one that I will answer while you were doing that. Nadia is asking, Jack,
I was looking at the same one.
Get to travel to space, will you take bacon sandwiches with you in a lunchbox? If not a lunchbox, I'll smuggle them into my spacesuit if I have to. I'll go full... What was that, John Glenn? I'll go full John Glenn. I don't care.
Didn't John Glenn smuggle a pastrami sandwich?
I thought it was a corned beef sandwich, but yeah, something like that.
I think it was. Yeah, something like that.
Hang on, I gotta... Alex, answer a question.
I'm still looking for them. Oh, here's a good one. Are all boosters for Crew Dragon new ones, or do they reuse them for crew missions? Max?
Go ahead.
So it is actually a rarity to see brand new boosters flying anymore, because the amount of flight-proven boosters in SpaceX's fleet trumps any amount of new boosters. But as for flying crew, no, they do not need to use a brand new booster every single time. And I think Jared Isaacman put it best at one point put it best, because Inspiration 4 launched on a booster which was I think its third or fourth flight. You would rather fly on a booster or something that is already flight proven, as opposed to a booster that is brand new with no flight data on it. So brand new boosters are not reserved for crew, and crew is free to use flight proven boosters.
Yeah, and fun fact, that booster that they used on Inspiration 4 is launching next week for its 14th mission. It's the one that you saw the other day, Max, going.
Yes, sir.
By the press site. That was so cool because it's super sooty. It's going to be the fourth booster that is flying for a 14th time. So not a lot of boosters have flown that many times.
It's a hardy veteran, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Follow up. It was a corned beef sandwich, and it was John Young, not John Glenn. I forget if I said John Glenn or John Young. It was John Young.
Okay.
Yeah, John Glenn was only Mercury and Shuttle, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yes. Yeah. That makes way more sense, because John Young seems like the kind of person who would do that, and John Glenn not so much.
And if I remember correctly, it was the first mission of Gemini, so it was like more daring. It was like, the first mission of the capsule, and guys just brought up that corned beef sandwich, which was like, yeah, why not? It's the first mission. There's no risk at all.
I mean, you gotta love it. You really do. Just take a sandwich into space. Why not? Let's see here. Just some more questions. Y'all, if you have any questions, now is the time to ask, because there's a good chance we'll see it and answer it. Okay, looks like really quickly we have a little bit of a breaking news thing here. The hatch is closed and the SpaceX team is leaving the pad. According to SpaceX's mission audio feed, engineers are assessing a small leak across an isolation valve in the first stage control system to make sure it's acceptable for flight.
Worth pointing out that is the attitude control system, that is the one that is used for the booster return. So it will not affect the ascent of the flight, but it will affect the recovery of the booster.
Got it. All right. Obviously, it's a brand new booster, so... Yeah, and there's the tweet from Bill Harwood from CBS Space News. Thanks, Bill. All right, so tracking a small issue. And we will wait to hear more news in regard to that. Now our back channel is debating the merits of different foods in space.
We are super serious and professional people.
We're going to space today. It's an hour and 20 minutes. We're sending these people to space. Serious face. Let's see. RDC DC is asking, what is the difference between the FTS from Starship and now the one on Falcon? Well, Falcon 9 right off the bat, as we were talking about earlier, has an automated FTS, where I don't think Starship has an
Starship
AFTS, does
also
it?
has
an
FTS.
Thank you, Alex.
Yep.
All right, well, what else? Tell us, what are some differences? I guess that's a similarity.
Well,
So
they also
Falcon-
use shape
Go ahead, Alex.
charges. Yeah. Well, if you want to do it as well, go ahead, Max.
Well, I think right off the bat, Falcon's AFTS runs all on the racetrack. So if you look at the booster from a side angle, you will notice a black stripe that runs up and down the booster, and in that conduit is piping, wiring, and a whole bunch of stuff. But also included in that is the flight termination system, which for Falcon is designed to, I guess one could say, unzip the booster. So all propellants would be immediately evacuated from the tanks and halt performance. Whereas, as we saw on Starship, I believe that they were just those two like ball-shaped charges on both ship and booster. So a much different approach from Falcon and Starship.
Yeah, there's like a detonation core that'll run the entire length of the booster in that black conduit, like you said, on Falcon 9.
Yeah,
Dare I say that's where the party spaghetti lives? Alex,
party spaghetti.
I said it.
And the flight termination system, you can sort of tell where it is because it's on the. So the Falcon 9 booster has two raceways. One is the primary raceway, which is next to the TE, the strom back there, the white structure next to the rocket. There's another raceway on the other side. That is where the FTS system is located. And you can see it because it's a little bit more bulgy on certain parts. That is actually where the FTS system charges are located.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you for that.
And Starship uses the same kind of system where there's like charges that try to break the tanks. The only problem is that for the first Starship flight, it didn't break the tanks. It just punched a hole and the tanks were still in one piece. So yeah.
Find out more at 6 p.m. when our video on all the things that went wrong on Starship's first flight goes live.
You just did what I was hoping you did. You were going to do. There you
go. James. Oh, yep, there we go. That's the thumbnail. We'll put the link in chat. Yep, that's what Das is doing now. Is working on that video. And you can see he did something with a pressure washer. You're just going to have to watch and find out.
Yep.
Let's see. Any more questions you want to hit, Alex? I'm going to thank some members real quick. Let's see. Rob Doyle, thanks for becoming a Red Team member. And Super Steph, gifting a Red Team membership. Thank you for that, both of you.
Go for Falcon 9 status.
The F9 team is going to take the action to vent the manifold for the pre-briefed Falcon 9 status. This will be a loud venting, so we do expect that you will hear it in the vehicle. They'll be taking that commanding shortly, but just giving you a heads up, you will hear this venting.
Okay, copy. Venting the manifold, and we expect to hear it. Thanks.
That's going to be exciting.
Right? We were talking about that earlier, like hearing things inside the crew capsule, and there you go. They're going to hear a vent. I hope we hear it. I don't think we will, but we'll listen in.
Just letting the crew know to expect loud venting noise. Again, that is the primary voice of communication to the crew to update them on status, as well as items like this where they are, they can...
2, 1.
It sounded like a countdown to the vent. I don't know if we're going to hear it. Oh, well. It's got to be
awesome.
I have
my ears open to see if we can hear it from here.
Oh, nice. It's got to be awesome to be on board the spacecraft like that and just hear it coming alive. I mean,
how can
once
you open
again,
your ears?
Oh, Alex. All right, let's see. More questions.
Venting just completed.
Okay, cool. Little Adventures is asking, what kind of Crew Dragon is this? I mean, there's only one kind of Crew Dragon, but this is Crew Dragon
SpaceX venting complete.
On its second flight.
Dragon copies. We actually felt it more than we heard it.
Wow.
Copy.
Yeah, that was the call out.
Felt it more than they heard it.
Yeah.
Interesting. I really wonder what that, like, it's like we were talking about earlier, it's a very tall vehicle. So, I mean, it's held by the strong back and the little arms at the top underneath the trunk there, but do you think they can feel it like swaying in the wind a little bit or wiggling or?
They can probably, yeah.
Maybe a little bit. But yeah, I guess you know what, Jack? I'll ride it one day and let you know.
Oh my gosh, please. Can we have an uninterrupted Max face cam on the entire ascent? That's my only request. I think we joke, but I sincerely hope we get to a point where the likes of you or I could be flying into space on Dragon, because it certainly seems like a heck of a ride and a really awesome and capable vehicle. I would feel completely safe.
I mean, the Falcon 9 has also been flown so many times already, more than 200 times that it has flown in a row since its last failure, and no single failure has happened. So that is incredible. No other rocket has achieved that.
Yeah, that's really remarkable. I mean, they've landed a Falcon 9 successfully in a row more times than some rockets have flown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like Atlas.
That's very true. That's a very good point, and that's also very weird to say.
It is. And it's just a sign of the times that we're getting into. You can see, not to be a Debbie Downer or anything, but there are some storms that look like they're moving in your general direction, Max, so heads up. I'm unsure if there'll be an issue or not.
I do see that. I mean, who knows? I mean, given what the wind's doing, the storms could run right into the sea breeze and they could strengthen, or they could dissipate. There's really no telling what they're going to do until they do it. So, and then that's just how Florida weather is at this time of year.
Yeah, you beat me to it. Classic Florida weather.
Florida weather at its finest. Gotta love it. Welcome to rainy season.
It seems like there's definitely some more clouds that have rolled in. There was earlier it was blue sky with a little puff of cloud. Now it's a cloud sky with a little puff of blue.
A little bit, yeah. If anything, it's serving more as like a filter from the sun, so we're not boiling out here. But yeah, there's definitely more clouds. But honestly, I think it adds to the backdrop, in my opinion.
Yeah, no complaints here. All right, let's do some more questions. We talked about this a couple times, but it's worth hitting again because it's sort of a unique aspect of this launch. Julian Falwell is asking, why can this one do an RTLS? So this is the first crewed launch SpaceX is doing with an RTLS on the booster. Alex, what's going on here?
Yeah, so what they have been able to do through all the Starlink missions and all the other missions with Falcon 9 is they realized that, they kind of knew that probably Falcon 9 had the performance to go back to land on crew missions, but now through that data, they were actually, making sure that, yes, they can do that, and it is something that Falcon 9 is capable of, so they're doing it on this mission, and future crew missions will also feature a land landing on the booster.
All right, I think at this point in the show, we're going to let Max jump off and take a break. Max, thanks for joining us for the start of the broadcast, and thanks for getting the camera set up and doing all the things down there at the Cape for us.
Yes, sir. I'm always happy to do it. Gonna get ready for launch here, and we have T-minus 1 hour, 10 minutes, and 30 seconds left to go. So.
Info card at MGDE with underscores on either side of it. Go give him a follow. All right, and taking Max's place, we have the ever delightful Julia Bergeron. Julia, are you out there at the Cape as well?
Why, yes, Jack, I am out here at the Cape, and just as Max said a few moments ago, just in the time that I've been here, the temperature feels so much better with that little bit of cloud cover that I don't have to hide in the shade of our building anymore.
Hooray!
Hooray!
Yeah, that Florida sun can sometimes feel like you're just like sitting in a furnace. It can be brutal, so I'm glad you guys are getting a little bit of respite from that. You can see Julia's info up on the top right. She's on Twitter at Julia_Bergeron, so give her a follow. All right, Julia, I'm kind of sad we don't get to talk about barges today.
I know, right? There's no barges today. There isn't even a fairing to go recover, but that's okay because we do like sonic booms. And as a resident of the Space Coast, I remember being greatly disappointed when they said, oh, by the way, crew launches aren't going to have RTLS anymore, because that was kind of exciting for us to have that regularly. and looks like maybe we'll get our wish. So I'm okay with not having a barge out there. The folks that run those ships need a break too.
Yeah, all fair points. We do like sonic booms here, and we do like RTLSs. It's so cool to see the rocket coming back and landing on land. So, no complaints. Definitely not complaining. I'm just saying, we like to talk about the drone ships and the port and all of that.
Very, very true. Here I have a question for Chad, if you don't mind, Jack. On my way in, our security forces said, "Oh, media, huh? When are you going to do a story about me?" So, Chad, question for you. We know we have our Gators as security forces, but what would you think about maybe someday a chit chat with security forces at KSC just to see all of the cool things they do to keep our spaceport safe? What do you think?
I think that would be really cool. My one request is that we get a helicopter ride out of it. Somebody needs to get in a helicopter.
Absolutely, 100% exactly what I was thinking was, wouldn't it be cool if I could fly in the helicopter? Just saying.
That's some rare air. That would definitely be awesome. Chat is saying yes, please. So I don't know. Talk to your gruff security person next time you see that particular one, and be like, well.
Absolutely, I agree. I think that would be cool because did you know we have SWAT forces out here?
Yeah, you do. Rocket SWAT? Is that a thing? I guess that's a thing.
I guess it is.
We have a few updates coming from Alex in the back channel. They're still looking at clouds at upper altitudes, but weather is good downrange. Falcon and Dragon teams are reporting no major issues. So hopefully that issue we were talking about earlier is not being tracked anymore. Hopefully it's not an issue. Oh, we can see the Port Canaveral cam. It's port cam. All right. I'm looking at the weather still. We'll keep an eye on that.
I'm enjoying the sneaky views on our live stream of a tower behind Dragon. But you guys will have to check out our last flyover. Since Starship flew, there hasn't been terribly much action out here at that pad, but there has been action elsewhere out at KSC. So check out that flyover, see what's going on, and we'll update you as we see more activity going on out here. But sneaky tower out there.
Gotta love it. Alex, do we just learn some things? Tell us what we just learned.
Sure. So the weather is not worsening or getting better, so it's like sort of as before. They're still looking at those upper clouds on at high altitudes. They're looking good on the downrange weather and everything. It's all looking great. But one thing that it was mentioned that the RTLS on this mission can be done precisely not only because they have performance leftover, but because they're doing a different sort of thing with the engines. So we have that sweet merge with the entry and landing burns and things like that. We might have to change it for crew missions because this one is going to have 3-engine boost back burn as always. Those boost back burns are always with 3 engines. But the entry burn is going to be just a single engine. And the landing is going to be a 3-engine landing burn. Now, the way that they do the 3-engine burns always, both for boost back burn, for entry burn, for landings, whenever they do it, it is they ignite the center engine and then 2 outer engines. So it's not directly 3 engines, it's 1, 3, and then for the shutdown process, they shut down the 2 outer engines and keep the center engine going a little bit, and then shut down the engine. Obviously for the landing, they shut down the center engine once they are landed, right? But it's going to be very interesting to see that. You could see that kind of landing profile though on the on the side boosters of Falcon Heavy. When they return back to land, they land with that same profile. So they ignite the center engine, then 2 outer engines, and they slow down really crazy. It's actually probably Julia can tell better than me because I haven't been there. But if you are there in person, you can actually see that they ignite the engines way closer to the ground, and they slow down super fast because they are on 3 engines, and once they slow down enough, they go with just a single engine all the way to the pad. So yeah, we're gonna see that today.
You're right, Alex. That is exactly what happens. It's kind of cool because you expect to see it falling out of the sky, right? So you have your eyes trained thinking, okay, this is about where I should see it, and then all of a sudden it's just a booster flying out of just down. And then as it gets closer, just like on the drone ship, it does come in on an angle to the landing zone. So if it does need to abort, we've seen this before, right? We had a water abort in the past.
Was that on a CRS mission? I forget. Ooh, helicopter.
Ooh, helicopter. Alex, I can't remember. I think
what's the Falcon 9 that went into the drink? That was like a brand new booster too, wasn't it?
That was CRS 16, B1056, I think was the booster.
I knew you would know.
And no, you cannot claim
December
salvage on
2018.
those. Yeah, it's been a while, and they're very hard to bring back. But
no, B1050. Excuse me, I was remembering other booster.
Oh yeah. Okay, I gotcha. So they do come in on an angle, and it's kind of crazy to see. It feels so very last moment when those engines reignite for the landing burn. And from most people's perspective, the legs don't come down until it's basically just at the tree line. So that those very last seconds come very fast.
Yeah, and for reference, the difference between a single engine landing burn and
Dragon
the
SpaceX,
3 engine landing burn
cycling
for
orbit
boosters
tank isolation valve
is
to equalize low flow pressure.
Dragon copy.
So the difference in altitude when they begin for the single engine landing burn, it is at about 2 kilometers more or less, whereas for the 3 engine landing burn, it's sometimes under 1 kilometer, which is crazy because it's really, really close. It's half the altitude.
Well, it sounds like they're cycling some valves.
Yeah, that is the sort of usual thing that they do with the valves, making sure that they work, they move as expected, so that there's not any issues later on.
I'm just glad there's no hydrogen involved today.
Hey,
and we don't.
Leak.
I was gonna say we don't want sticky valves because in the end, Florida, just as Texas is, it's a humid place. So you want to have those last minute systems checks just because your booster has been out at the pad for a couple of days and humidity is real.
Yep. So cool to see that helicopter in the background, just really giving you a sense of scale of things. That's mesmerizing, wow. And you can see the Starship pad and the LOX tank. Still seems really close to 39A proper. But what
I kind of giggle at that angle though because it makes it look like just the angle that we're seeing as a perspective. It makes it look like it's just barely taller than Dragon, and it's very much a lot taller than much taller and quite a bit farther away than it appears.
All right, well, we are about an hour to go until launch. And today we are launching 4 astronauts to the ISS, private astronauts on the part of Axiom, which is a private company. This is Axiom's second mission to the ISS. And the 4 astronauts are Commander Peggy Whitson. She'll be the first female commander of a private space mission as of this launch. She's had 665 days in space. That's the most of any American, and the most of any woman. 60 hours of spacewalk time across 10 EVAs, which is also a female record. That's insane. Just 60 hours floating around in space. So cool. She's commanded the space station twice and was the first female commander of the ISS.
Those days in space is actually the record for anyone that is not from Russia, basically, because way back when they had the Mir station, they had a lot of folks up there for a long time, so they had these 800 days in space or something like that. So for America, it was a little bit delayed there, but it's a lot of time in space there for anyone, you know, that hasn't been so much up there.
And next up, we have pilot John Softner. John is the only one of the four to pay for the flight. The price was undisclosed. He's a pilot with more than 8,500 hours of flight time. I believe he likes to drive race cars as well, which looks like, yeah, Nürburgring, if I know anything about driving cars. I think I've seen Top Gear a couple times. Over 3,000 skydives and base jumps, and met his wife on a skydive, which we were talking about that earlier. That's kind of wild. John, I know, is hoping to get kids excited about space as part of his flight, which is really cool. Also, we have 2 mission specialists on this flight. We have Ali Alkarni, who is a F-15 pilot, or former F-15 pilot, with 2,300 hours of flight time. 2,387 hours in an F-15 SA, which is a lot of hours, needless to say. And yeah, he'll be the second male Saudi astronaut. And rounding up the mission specialists, we've also got Rayana Barnawi, who has spent more than 9 years as a research tech working on stem cells and tissue re-engineering programs. So we've got one experienced astronaut on this flight, extremely experienced astronaut, and we've got 3 newbies. And this is the 0G indicator, which is Gigi, or Gigi? I haven't heard him how it's pronounced, but it's Gigi. It's like a little bear dog, Build-A-Bear thing. I don't know, in an Axiom spacesuit. I don't know, have we come to a consensus on if this is a bear or a dog or what?
It's a bear. Build-A-Bear.
All right, fine. I'm kind of
It's
sad
the
it's
fifth
that,
crew
it's
member,
that cut and
Ryan
dry.
says.
Hey,
Oh,
Jack.
man. What's up, Julia?
You know what I'm excited about?
Are you
Can you
excited that we're
imagine?
just under 57 minutes away from launch?
Oh, absolutely. I totally don't have a camera set up for it yet because I'm enjoying being on stream with y'all. But you know what I'm really excited about? That Rihanna, she is the first Saudi female astronaut, and that she's going to have Peggy as a mentor. I mean, how cool is that to be with Peggy on your first flight? So I'm looking forward to seeing what she does with stem cell research while she's up there.
Yeah, that's a good shout. I mean, we were talking about it earlier. Peggy is so experienced, such a legend, has done so much. If I was going to be riding to space, I would absolutely want someone like that as my commander. And mentor too would be amazing. So that's really nifty. Let's see here. 55 minutes and 55 seconds to go. Let's see. Questions. Oh, here's one for Alex. The man, the myth, the legend is asking, what does it mean when Mission Control says Stage 1 FTS is safed?
Yeah, so that means that the AFTS is no longer going to be activated from that point on. So if the booster has any sort of failure in the way or something like that, it's just not going to be impacting anywhere where it might hit outside of the safety zones. So they can safely save, so to speak, the AFTS. Yep.
Makes sense. Musical Wolves with a super chat. Thank you there, buddy. Saying, should we start an NSF Dragon Crew Fund? I mean, that's a hefty fund, but I'm not going to complain. Wolfram, thank you for the support. They say, welcome aboard Dragon SpaceX flights. Make sure your trays are in the upright position. Also, please place your cell phones and cameras in airplane mode. Wouldn't it be space capsule mode? Thank you and have a nice flight. I love it. Please make sure your seat rotates to its full laid back in launch position. Stow your iPad for launch. Let's see here. And Smed's Pets is... Well, they gave us a super chat. I'm not sure what they're asking. Something about Clearwater, Florida. No idea. Let's see here. Lauren is asking, can y'all show or tell folks the expected trajectory, please? Julia, you want to tell us a little bit about what direction this rocket's headed?
You know what? That is the one thing I haven't pulled up because there's no drone ship out there. Usually, correct me if I'm wrong, Alex, but crew missions go northeast, right?
Yep, it'll go northeast, sort of hugging the east coast of the United States. Now, since this is not a night launch, it might not be that visible up the coast. Maybe way up there, because I believe this is going to be like 30 minutes or so before sunset on those regions, so maybe it's dark enough for them.
We're way far away from sunset. We're talking.
No, I mean on the north, up the coast, where sunset is. It's not that late as it is on Florida.
Oh yeah, orbital mechanics. Gotcha.
Yeah.
You gotta go way north for that to be a difference, though. Like Canada North, correct?
Well, I've seen people posting pictures of seeing, these ISS missions all the way from New York City. So it's yeah.
All right, chat. You tell me if you
challenge
live
for you
up north. Yeah, I got a challenge for you.
Challenge.
Give us a base point if you live New York, Canada. Let us know what you see. Well, I'm guessing about sometime during second stage.
Yeah, because I do remember seeing like a shot of it was sort of in this sort of twilight time as well. It was for them, it was already dark enough that for them it was jellyfish effect, but it was already day, so it was daylight here on Florida, but it was, there it was dark enough for them to be jellyfish effect.
Dragon SpaceX, you are go for Section 5. When ready, report go for launch.
Oh, it's Section 5 time.
Wilco.
Is that response Wilco? Or we're go? Let's see if we hear anything more.
Yeah, not clear.
It's still kind of mind-boggling that we can have rockets that go into space no problem, and the radio communications are often so, like, fuzzy and garbled.
Yeah, right now the teams at both Hawthorne, KSC, and also at Axiom, they're running the sort of go no go polls.
All right then. Let's see here.
I believe we have
and SpaceX
shortly.
Dragon is go for launch of the Axiom Mission 2. Our presence here is a culmination of tireless efforts of thousands from all around the world. Without your support, this second private astronaut mission to the International Space Station would not be possible. Today, we stand on the threshold of a remarkable journey thanks to your unwavering spirit to explore beyond our home planet and the endless possibilities it enables. Thanks to the teams that make up our very big family, Axiom Space, NASA, and the International Space Partners, and SpaceX. And with that, let's get to work and build some history together.
Wow.
There was a lot of emotion in that.
SpaceX copies all, Peggy. Great words. Looking forward to trying to get you up today.
Yeah, how do you even follow that? That was truly heartfelt.
Oh.
And yep, there's the 0G indicator. That's the bear. Yes.
The cute bear. She loves the space. When she's interviewed, Peggy, it's always like, would you go to space? And she's like, yes. And she was asked recently on our interview whether this was going to be her last space flight, and she was like, I hope not. Because she's gone to space for so long. People are like, are you still want to go to space? She's like, yes, why not? She really loves this. she's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still just kind of at a loss to even say anything more about. That was a really beautiful little statement. And thank you, Alex, for letting me regain my composure for a moment there.
Don't worry.
Wow. All right, well, 48 minutes, 48 seconds to go. Let's send these 4 awesome humans to the space station. Why not? About how long do we have until fueling, Alex? About 14 or so minutes, somewhere in there?
Really, really soon, because now we should be with a go from the launch director. And then we'll see that crew arm retract and the launch escape system being armed. We won't see that because it's going to be, this kind of thing inside Dragon happening.
On countdown net,
but yeah.
Polling go, no go for propellant load and launch. Indicate readiness in EPROC, step 55.78.
Here we go. Let's do this go, no go poll. I'm waiting for the go no go poll. Hello. All right.
Well, no.
This
is a SpaceX. You're not gonna get the go no go poll. This is electronic. It's not old style.
Oh, okay. Let's see here. Mark Morton, thank you for gifting a Red Team membership. Smeds, thank you for the support. They're asking if you can see the launch from the Gulf Coast. Probably. Like, it'll be very tiny, but probably. I have seen launches from Tampa before. Is Manuel still there, or has he moved? Is that him on the left? That's the only thing I care about in this shot. Let's see here. Mike, thank you for the support. They say, has SpaceX mentioned anything about wanting to do a human landing system test landing on the moon? I know we are far, far away, but do any of you expect them to? Yeah, I fully would expect a test first. I don't know. What do you think, Julia? Test landing for HLS on the moon, or will the first one be sort of all up?
Oh, I'm feeling like a test landing on that one. I mean, much like we built up to Apollo, I think this is something that we'll be building up to as well. Each mission being another step toward the ultimate goal, and I think in this case, maybe an automated landing and hopefully maybe return from the moon. Just kind of to prove, because I think we also need to prove that we can leave as little footprint as possible during that landing as well.
Yeah, that makes sense. Lyle is asking if there's just one personal item we could bring with us to space, what would we bring? I would bring camera. Definitely would bring a camera. I don't know if that counts as a personal item or if there would already be one, but I would bring a camera and as many lenses as I could.
And
Julie,
I'm with you.
What would you bring?
I'm with you, Jack. I would bring a camera, and on my SD card, I'd make sure I had pictures of those folks who were near and dear to me. But if we count a camera as equipment, then my personal item, I'm not going to lie, is probably going to be a stuffed animal.
Aw,
Operators
nice.
in Mission Control and Firing Room 4. Both control rooms will go into lockdown at T-minus 45 minutes, which is now, and remain in that state until the launch escape system is disarmed. All operators remain at their console and maintain a sterile cockpit until MD confirms successful disarming of the launch escape system following orbital insertion or propellant offload in the event of a scrub. Reminder on hold and launch escape protocol. For non-urgent no-go conditions, brief CE or LD, and they will approve aborting the countdown. For urgent issues affecting the safety of the operation, operators shall call hold on the countdown net. Launch control will abort launch immediately and proceed into the launch abort auto sequence. At T-minus 10 seconds, launch control will be hands-off and relying on automated abort criteria for the remainder of the count. Finally, operators shall advise launch director whether structural breakup or fire is imminent or occurring for Dragon manual escape flight rules. Finally, regarding leak through on the first stage ACS isolation valve. We will manually monitor the pressure in the manifold. Stage 1 will assess and at T-minus 35 seconds indicate whether the pressure rise is within the predicted range. If it is not, Stage 1 will call a hold on the countdown net. Are there any questions? Hearing no questions, launch control, you may proceed with arming the crew arm for movement.
All right, we're about to see that crew arm move.
Questions?
It really just drives home that we are watching 4 humans launch into space today. It's not just the stack of Starlinks. It's not a whole bunch of small sats. So it's not anything inanimate. It is people. This is the cargo today. I mean, it's a whole different vibe at Kennedy Space Center on days like this, right, Julia?
That is correct, Jack. Basically, that T-minus 45-minute mark when
Oops,
you
sorry,
say lock...
there goes the access arm. Go ahead.
Oh no! Oh, I see it swinging. I mean, this is when it feels like this is the moment of no turning back. This is headsets on. Everybody, be attentive. T-minus 45. We're in lockdown. That means business. That means everyone is on their toes.
Yep.
And it is a different vibe out here. Satellites are one thing, humans are another. So it's a little bit different of an electricity, shall we say, in the air.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. We're doing something altogether different and more important right now.
One thing that the launch director mentioned there, which is very important, was the attitude control system on the stage 1 for return. The Falcon 9, it's going to be using its own board computers to track that, and it'll use, so if there was going to be any sort of abort due to that, it's going to be called at T-minus 35 seconds by the onboard computers. But we're not calling out anything like that. We're just saying that, that is in case that Falcon 9 finds out that it's not. Oh, there we go.
All right. We've got the Dragon capsule now access armless with the sneaky Starship tower in the background photobombing it.
At least we can see it. When they fly with fairings, we cannot see it.
Dragon SpaceX, you are go for Section 6. Close visors and arm launch escape system.
All right. It is business time.
Go for Section 6.
Wow.
And SpaceX
just under
Dragon.
41 minutes.
Visors are closed, and we're arming the launch escape system now.
40 minutes to go. This is getting real. About 5 minutes to the start of propellant loading, and so that is why they are arming the not flight termination system, the launch abort system on Dragon. Let's see. Saturn Man, thank you for the support. T. Evans, thank you for gifting a Red Team membership. Drew Nar, thank you for the support. Yep, the crew access arm has been retracted. I think there was a small partial one first, where they retract the skirt.
System is verified armed.
Okay, launch escape system's armed. And Natalie, thank you for grabbing something from the store. They say, from my husband Taylor. Thank you, NSF. Godspeed, Axiom-2. They got the Moon and Mars shirt. Nice pick. And they got the Starship Assembly shirt. That's a really good one. That's one of my favorites. All right, Alex, walk us through the timeline. We just saw the crew access arm retract at T-minus 42. Next up, and we heard that the escape system has been armed, so there we go. Make that green. And so next up, we're going to start loading LOX and RP-1 into the vehicle, right?
Yeah, so up next will be the launch auto sequence starts at T-minus 35 minutes. That is when the RP1 load begins on both stages and the LOX load begins on stage 1. That'll go through at about T-minus 20 minutes. We'll see the stromback, the support structure on the side of the vehicle will vent. That's going to be the T-minus 20 minute vent. That'll be the sign that they have wrapped up the loading of RP1 onto the second stage, and they're chilling down the pipes for the liquid oxygen load next at about T-minus 16 minutes. So that's going to be sort of the next steps that we're going to see here in just a few minutes.
All right, yeah, things start happening rapidly and in rapid succession as the vehicle gets fueled up and things get ready to launch these people into space. Brand new Falcon 9, looking great on the pad.
That's the Axiom mission control.
Nice.
At Houston, Texas.
I'm over here like looking at stickers on people's laptops, like what do we got?
You can also see like a shot of the Houston Mission Control Center by NASA on one of the screens.
Oh yeah, it's like a mission control within a mission control. We're getting recursive here. All right. Wolfram gifting 5 Red Team memberships. Thank you so much, buddy. We really appreciate that. If you just got a gifted membership from Wolfram or any of the other people that have been doing that, make sure you thank them in chat. And enjoy your perks. Let's see here. Mike Gardner is asking, what is the round tower atop the crew tower? What is its purpose? Julia, what's that big white stick on top of the crew tower?
That would be a lightning protection rod, which has been hit not too many missions ago, actually. It does a very good job of protecting the assets on the pad from the Florida weather.
Yeah, and often the target for the lightning is not actually the tower itself. It's those
venting for propellant load. Expect loud venting.
It's the wires that it's supporting. Those catenary wires is actually what the lightning typically hits, right?
That is correct, and that would be the mechanism that holds them up. And indeed, that lightning will travel down to the ground so that it doesn't harm any electrical equipment on board. And indeed, it did its job. What was that, two launches ago at this pad when we had this sorely severe weather?
Yeah, that's the one where Max got the really cool shot of the lightning bolt, right?
Yes, that is my screensaver right now. But yes, and we were out here when it struck, and wow, amazing. And it followed right down that wire system. So we do also have a video if someone can queue up a link if you want to learn more about lightning towers.
I was waiting for it. Thank you for that. There is a video we did on the lightning towers.
Well, fun fact, my mom actually asked me that very question from a picture that I sent her.
Yeah.
And she watched the video and learned a lot. So I recommend it.
It's a good one. It's a really good one. We'll have to throw the link into chat. There it is. People know the command. It's !towers in chat, and it'll link you that video. Good stuff. Ted Parsons, thanks for the support there. So T-minus 35, we're basically at the point where propellant should start flowing, right, Alex?
Yeah, we should be hearing right now that call out of launch auto sequence as it started. That is when the fueling command starts.
Excellent. We'll start to see this rocket get nice and frosty. Although it's a little bit less obvious on a brand new clean booster, right?
That is true, Jack. It is quite a magic trick when we have an older booster or...
Oh, there we go.
There we go, propellant load. It is kind of a magic trick when you take a veteran booster and make it turn like brand new because of said frost. But on these newer ones, it's a lot harder to tell. So we'll have to go by the venting.
Yes, indeed. All right, things are looking good. We've got propellant load underway. We've got a nice day. So yeah, this is for stage 1 that propellant is loading, as you can see from the timeline there on the left. Stage 2 LOX load and propellant load will be beginning in about 15 minutes.
Yeah, right now the only thing on stage 2 is the RP1, and stage 1 is getting both RP1 and liquid oxygen.
Oh, so stage 2 already has, I guess, yeah, because according to the timeline, it's RP1 loading, not specific to stage 1.
Yeah, it is RP1 on both the stages, and stage 1 is undergoing liquid oxygen load as well.
Excellent. Oh, here's one. Xbar is asking if the Starship Tower at 39A will require the lightning protection system like the 39A proper tower has. Would make sense, right?
I would sure hope that there is something, because it sits considerably taller. So if lightning's going to be tempted to go anywhere, it's going to be tempted to go to the Starship Tower.
It is kind of wild. We were just talking about that lightning strike the other day that Max got a photo of. It's wild that it went anywhere else but the Starship Tower. I mean, I guess there's a good amount of separation there. They're actually pretty far apart, but it's like lightning will go to the highest thing off the ground, and it's like the Starship Tower is right there. So yeah, hopefully they do some mitigation. I know I talk about West Coast being best coast all the time, and I'm sorry. No, I'm not. But that is one thing I miss. We do not get good thunderstorms here in LA, at least not often. Although this year it's been crazy insane.
You're welcome to visit the best coast anytime, Jack.
Thank you. I demand cookies when I visit because you make delicious cookies, but I'll repay
Only
you in
if you
beef.
make.
Yes.
I was gonna say, you repay me in beef jerky or bacon, and we've got a deal.
How about bacon jerky?
I could go for that.
Let's see here. Just under 32 minutes to go. Propellant is flowing. Let's answer some more of your questions. If you have any questions, at NASA Spaceflight in chat, and we'll see them pop up. Alex, this one's probably for you. John Murray is asking, at what point in the flight does the launch abort system become unusable?
Right. So we actually heard the launch director talk about that. So the launch abort system is active from the point that we saw before, where they said launch abort system is active, all the way till either the Dragon is in orbit, so right as the second stage shuts down its MVAC engine, or if they have a scrub and they have to detank, once the rocket is fully detanked, then the launch abort system is deactivated. So once it is in orbit, it doesn't need the launch abort system because it's not launching, so it's deactivated. And in the case of an abort, and they don't, more like a scrub, I should say. In the case of a scrub, they detank the rocket, and once it is detanked, it's safe to do everything else, and so they can shut down the system.
Makes sense. Oh gosh, we have a poll in chat now. It's the best coast
Stage
poll.
1 cryohelium load has started.
What was that? Stage 1 cryohelium load?
Yeah, so I mentioned before that they were loading helium on the COPVs, on the bottles, for pressurizing the tanks. They load, though, a little bit of that, and then once they are into this countdown, it is when they actually go and load colder helium that is called cryohelium. It is really, really cold. The other one is sort of at more or less room temperature in that case, and also for all the things that they do, like the attitude control system that we were talking about as well, that they had an issue with. Yeah, so right now that is what they're loading right now, that helium for pressurization at really super cold temperatures.
Gotta fill up the COPVs.
Yep. Thankfully, they haven't had any issues with those. They were a little bit of a pain back in the old days.
It's so wild thinking about that as the old days, but really, it's like ancient history at this point.
Over 200 launches ago.
That's insane. That is insane. Let's see here.
Oh, Jack.
What's up?
You need to say the last option on that poll on YouTube.
The best coast poll? It's East Coast, West Coast, Gulf Coast, or Yorkshire Coast. Which is amazing because it's landlocked.
You know, I'm still stuck on some.
You're stuck on what, Julia? I think we lost you for a second there.
Oh, shoot. Hi. So I'm still
Hi.
stuck on Alex's statement that was like 200 launches ago. Are you what?
Yeah, for everyone. Oh, we got some venting from the TE. That's what we want to see.
Woohoo.
Yeah, just a little bit.
But yeah,
I've seen a lot of launches.
It's a lot. I mean, for those that don't know what we're talking about, what was it? 200 launches ago, Alex? Was it CRS-7 or was it Amos 6?
Amos 6 was 203 Falcon launches ago. This is the 203rd launch since that failure.
That's wild.
That's just bonkers to me. I'm sorry. I've lived here for all of that now, so I never put it in a number like that outside of the boosters I've taken selfies, which was not from the very beginning, and that's well over 100 now. So,
but yeah, both of those
Julia.
failures, Amos 6 and CRS-7, were both COPV issues. So that's what we're talking about for y'all newbies.
I have a question.
Hang on.
I have a question for Julia. Oh.
Hang on. Chat is yelling at me because they're saying Yorkshire isn't landlocked. All right, I'm stupid. I'm a dumb American. I don't know good geography good. Me dumb. Me not good. Okay, get that out of the way. Thank you,
Okay.
chat. Alex, go.
Julia, without looking it up, how many times has a SpaceX launched from LC-39A? Make a guess.
I couldn't even tell you, but I would say, I would say about 98.
A little bit less.
Okay, wait. Yeah, this one's a little less because Heavy takes longer to turn around. Let's go for 72.
Ooh, almost. Close. This is the 65th flight from LC-39A by SpaceX.
Wow.
So 65 launches.
Cool. And I can still remember when there was the rotating service tower. And they were taking that down. And it looks so much different now.
It really is.
Wow.
Like, so much of the structure just removed. I mean, when you see the NSF intro, that first shot, that rotating service structure is, hey, this looks kind of familiar.
Hey, flyover time.
Yeah, right.
We should do it live.
Oh gosh, Scott Manley is in chat and says, as a child, I would go on holidays to a town on the Yorkshire coast. Well, I'm dumb, okay? I'm sorry.
Well, he probably met Crispy.
Also, hello.
Hello, Jonathan.
There. We've got a frosty rocket. That's what we want to see.
Yep.
Robin Furbrush, thank you so much for becoming a PadRat member and for the super chat there. Let's see. Chicho is asking, do we know how much this mission cost, Axiom? Does NASA charge for crew to stay on the ISS?
Stage 2 cryohelium load has started.
And there we go. Stage 2 cryohelium load has started. Filling up the Stage 2 COPVs.
Yep.
So this question, who wants to take it?
Ah, the bugs.
Oh god, they're attacking!
Yeah, they're talking about the landing zone 1. That is the place the booster is going to go to after launch.
So, how much?
I was going to say that I don't think we know the price that Axiom is paying.
Okay. Well, womp womp. Sorry,
And yeah,
Chicho.
NASA charges Axiom for the stay on the ISS. What they normally do, though, is instead of like charging them via actual money, sometimes they charge services. Like Axiom will give them some sort of service to NASA instead, or NASA will give, somewhere around that, and because usually it's easier that way rather than actually, giving money to each other. Somewhat easier that way of
that makes sense.
Hey, yeah,
it's like a trade. Like I think Bigelow did some stuff like that where it was like, hey, we'll launch this payload for you if you do this science with it, or as like a deal. You don't have to pay for the launch, but you make the thing and we'll launch it, something like that. T Evans NC, thanks for gifting a Red Team membership, and Anonymous, thanks for grabbing something from the store there. They say this drone towel is not needed today, but prepping for the double drone ship landing upcoming. Oh, they got the drone ship towel. I love it.
I love my drone ship towel.
It's a good one. That's a really good one. All right, so we're coming up on stage 2 RP1 and LOX load. And in just a few minutes, we're going to see the T-minus 20-minute vent. We'll talk about that when we get there. So be ready for that. Who wants to take the T-minus 20-minute vent speech? Alex, do you want it?
Sure, why not?
All right, stay tuned.
I'm the propellant load guy.
Everybody in chat should be riveted. You're also the timeline guru.
I have my own timeline even.
Fancy line drawing. Let's see here. Alex, since you're Mr. Numbers, how many crew launches has SpaceX conducted so far?
This is the 10th.
Wow.
So it's not a lot of crew missions compared, to other space programs, but it's a lot for private company. I mean, it's the only private company right now launching crew to orbit.
10 crewed missions. That's insane.
The 9th going to the ISS, because we had Inspiration 4, which was a free flight mission. So, yep. Kind of crazy.
Speaking
it's
of...
been, I think, more than 40 Dragon missions already.
Wow. 40 Dragon missions. I mean, it speaks to not only the reusability of the booster itself, but the reusability of Dragon, too. Let's see here. Got the timeline coming up again. Mark is asking, will any modifications to Crew Dragon be done before upcoming Polaris Dawn mission with the EVA? Do we know anything along those lines?
Yeah, they apparently are going to have like some sort of handheld stuff, like to for the astronauts to be able to hail themselves as they exit the vehicle, because they're gonna be doing an EVA, and when you're out in space, you need somewhere to hold yourself so that you don't fly off, because otherwise, that would be very problematic.
Yep, that makes sense. I wonder if they're going to have like, well, here we go. Space Podcast is asking, will SpaceX add an RCS box to the front of or back of the spacesuits for Polaris Dawn, considering the crew will EVA? Give us a short answer, because we're almost doing. Oh, nope, no answer. T-minus 20-minute vent. This is exactly what we want to see. This is a nominal part of propellant loading. Alex, tell us what we're looking at.
Yeah, so right now they have wrapped up the load of RP1 on the second stage, and they're chilling down the pipes all the way to the umbilicals on the second stage to, once they flow liquid oxygen into the second stage, it doesn't just boil off and, create any nasty stuff into your lines. You don't want that kind of stuff happening.
Stage 2 RP1 load is complete.
That's the call out. Stage 2 RP1 load is complete.
Excellent. So again, this is exactly what we expect to see at this point in the flow. We always talk about the T-minus 20-minute vent, and there you go. Just as expected. It's so cool to see the plume there, like, going through the tower. But yeah, Space Podcast asking, will SpaceX add an RCS box to the front or back of spacesuits for Polaris Dawn, considering the crew will be on an EVA, though they will be tethered? Have we heard anything about suit modifications or anything like that, Alex? I don't think so.
I think they are tethered through the umbilical on the thigh, but I don't think it's like an RCS box they're gonna wear. They have actual handholds and things like that for the crew to be able to be secured.
Okie doke. All right, let's take another look at the timeline as we're under 20 minutes now. Just about 18 and a half minutes. Right now, we are at the point where they're about to start loading stuff, propellant into the second stage. Well, I guess oxidizer. RP1 is already in the second stage, so we're about 2 minutes away from LOX load on the second stage. Then at T-7, Falcon 9 begins its engine chill down process. Then T-5, Dragon transitions to internal power. At T-1 minute, the computer takes over and does final pre-launch checks, and the tanks are pressed for flight. At T-45, LD verifies we're go for launch. T-3, engine ignition starts, and of course 0 is liftoff. So that's what we're looking at.
And after liftoff, we're going to see a roughly 2.5 minute ascent into space. Max Q will come up at about T+1 minute. MECO will come, main engine cutoff will come at 2 minutes 26 seconds. That's when the first stage will shut down the engines, stages will separate. Second stage will light the MVAC engine. Meanwhile, the first stage is going to come back for a landing back on land. Boost back burn there with 3 engines.
That's like a 49-second boost back burn.
Yep, a 49-second boost back burn as the first stage is going back to land. Second stage is going to go into orbit. SECO 1, you can see there. Dragon will separate. The nose cone will open. But now, for this mission, the entry and landing of the booster is going to be a little bit different than we see normally. Maybe we could show here what normally that entry and landing burns look like.
I see what you're
trying to do this.
Yeah, no,
the segue. I tried to do it like slowly.
No, we do have a shirt that shows launch.
Yep.
And entry and landing. Oh God, sorry, I just got something in my throat. There we go.
The plushies for Starship. Anywho, yeah, we're gonna see that right now real shortly. There you go. So normally you see on missions for the entry burn, we see 3 engines for the entry and 1 for the landing. It's gonna be reverted this time. It's gonna be 1 for entry and 3 for landing. We should be coming up here on the stage 2 LOX load.
Stage 2 LOX load has begun.
There you go.
That was really good timing.
Yeah, because I've already seen too many Falcon 9s, and I saw the T-20 minute event stopping, so I already knew that we were gonna call out that.
But yeah, speaking of Falcon 9s, there's also metal prints of Falcon 9s. I really love the composite that Pauline did of the landing of the booster, showing the legs coming out. That is absolutely awesome. What a cool shot. All right. 15 minutes to go. Everything is looking good. We haven't heard any issues being called out. We don't think there's nothing going on with the weather, right, Julia?
Yeah, in fact, the sun has peaked out just a little bit more.
Look at that.
Oh, where is Das? What is Das doing right now? Also, where is he? Is he like floating up in the sky? It's kind of crazy.
He has been doing some stuff lately.
Go for it, Alex.
Maybe there's a certain video that is dropping real soon, right after Axiom-2 launches, which is gonna look into all the stuff that happened on Starship, both wrong and right, and what the SpaceX is doing right now to solve those issues. And I believe what we saw there was Das sort of experimenting on his own. We'll see that also on the video as well. So stay tuned.
Alex, I wouldn't watch the video after that announcement about the video.
Come on.
I'd be like, okay, I'm not gonna watch that.
We displeased him enough that he showed up. I'm scared.
I heard somebody say, where's DOS at? I've been, we did the museum show earlier, and then I hopped over here to see what's going on with Axiom, and I heard my name. My ears were burning. So what's up, chat? How y'all doing?
It's like a genie in a bottle. Hello, DOS.
You say my name 3 times, and I show up, and it's only 3 letters. It's easy. No, we had a ton of fun. We had an absolute blast recreating the Starship launch with a pressure washer in my backyard. Like, I literally made little slabs of concrete and grout and then put gravel and sand underneath it and shot it at like point blank range with a pressure washer, and it sprayed stuff up in my face. And we have a bunch of like slow motion and stuff like that of all the testing I did. I play Kerbal as well in the video, but it's an hour-long video. So sort of a big deal for us to release. Normally we don't do that, but it is releasing right after this launch. Hopefully Axiom-2 goes onwards, and at 6 p.m. Eastern in 37 minutes, we are going to release this embarrassment of me spraying things in my backyard out onto the internet.
No, it's going to be
amazing. No, it's not embarrassment.
Okay.
No, launch status update.
Waiting.
Go ahead for update.
All right, Peggy. We are still tracking no issues on Dragon for today's launch. We have continued weather evaluations, and for your awareness, we are monitoring an anvil cloud that is moving towards LC-39A. It's currently 5 miles away, and it just needs to remain outside of 3 miles for launch to continue. The weather officer is going to continue monitoring this cloud and will continue to provide updates to the launch teams. How copy?
Dragon copies, no issues on the vehicle, watching the cloud. Thinking very dry spot.
Good readback, and just a reminder that for the Falcon 9 valve, the Falcon team is going to be performing that manual evaluation of the manifold pressure until T-minus 35 seconds, and if we do not pass those checks, the Falcon team will call a hold. If the evaluation passes, there will be no call made, and we will continue with the countdown. So again, at T-minus 35 seconds following the manual evaluation, if we do not pass those checks, the Falcon team will call a hold. But if there is no call, we have passed the checks, and we will continue with countdown.
Dragon copies, manual evaluation. We'll call a hold if it's not passing the checks. Expect no call if it looks good.
Good readback.
All right, there you go. Watching an anvil cloud about 5 miles away, needs to stay within or outside of 3 miles. But really quickly, Das, you went full practical engineering on that video. I mean, I really hope people enjoy it. Like you said, we don't normally do the longer videos. I'm excited to put this one out there and see what everybody thinks, and I think it's going to be a really good one.
Who made this thumbnail with the Starship that's the bottom of the pressure washer firing at my car?
I love it. You know what it needs, though? It needs more question marks.
A couple more question marks.
Maybe like an interrobang or two.
Oh, brother. Anyways, we're going to be doing like live chat. Like when it does the premiere, we're going to be like hanging out, chatting in chat. And it's it's like a feature-length hour-long thing. So a big deal for us to release that. I'm super excited about it. And I will be in chat reading all your comments. So anyways, I'll turn the show back over to y'all, and we will see if Axiom-2 gets on its way, because there's a little fluffy cloud up there. Whatever shall we do?
Thank you for stopping by, Das. Let's get back into it. 10 minutes, about to be just under 10 minutes to go for launch. Julia, how are we feeling? Do you need to go operate a camera? Do you need a paper bag to breathe into?
I'd say paper bag to breathe into. I need all of chat to start thinking some happy thoughts, because anvil cloud, what's the big deal? It's a cloud. There's no lightning. Well, what the big deal is that cloud could have lightning, and that cloud, if a spacecraft were to go through it, could create lightning. So we dislike anvil clouds within 3 miles of our launch pad.
SpaceX, confirm crew displays are configured for launch.
And SpaceX Dragon, we can confirm crew displays are configured for launch.
All right.
SpaceX copies. And on behalf of the entire SpaceX team, we are honored to have you aboard Dragon Capsule Freedom today on its next trip to the International Space Station and the second Axiom crew mission. We wish you a great mission, good luck, Godspeed, and enjoy the ride.
Love it.
Let freedom fly.
Oh,
That was awesome.
for the second time, I'm about to
great.
tear up.
Do you want to finish your thought, or do you need a moment?
No, I just love human space flight. We're good.
It's the best. It's the coolest thing a person can do is go to space. Really quickly, I do want to make sure everyone knows we appreciate the support. Jerwa, thank you for the support so much. Making a joke about microwave bacon, gifting 5 Red Team memberships. Thank you so much for doing that, Jerwa. We always see your name pop up, giving us the support, so we thank you so much. And now 5 people can check out the member program, which we really put a lot of work into and think is awesome. Baz becoming a Red Team member, or no, gifting a Red Team member. Jack gifting 10 Red Team memberships. Thank you, Jack Wales. That's very awesome of you. Like, really, if you got a membership from Jack, be sure to thank him in chat. Not only because he has the best name, but also because he did something very kind. And really, if you just got a membership, make sure you check out all of the cool perks that we have, because there's some cool ones. I mean, even just the members emoji. Let me, in honor of the day, I will spam chat with a bunch of dragon members emoji, and I'll just say sorry in advance to our chat mods. Sven, thanks for becoming a Red Team member. Cameron, thank you for grabbing something from the store. They say airspace is clear. Go for launch. They got a spiral notebook. Oh, cool. And Philip, thank you for the support. They say thanks from Phil and Veronica. Thank you, Philip, so much. And Adrian, thank you for the support. They say keep up the great work. Well, thank you for saying that. All right. Seriously, thank you, everyone, so much. We love doing this stuff. And with your help and with your support, that's how we can keep doing it. So it really means a lot. All right, 7 minutes. 7 minutes to go. Can you feel the energy?
Oh boy.
I can feel the tension.
Yes, it's real.
And there's a helicopter, Jack.
Oh.
Close to us, and it's a Coast Guard helicopter, to be honest. It's kind of cool.
Coasties. Are you? Do we need to let you go and operate a camera, Julia?
My camera's right in front of me. I'm good, Jack, but thank you. Thank you for the offer.
Just making sure. Alex, what's on your mind?
Yeah, because we heard the call out of engine chill. I was going to say we're not chill. At least I am not chill.
0 chill.
Boy.
But we're not Merlin
engines,
right
now.
So it's okay. All right.
We're just going to come up here on the Stage 1 RP1 load completion.
And then Dragon is going to transition into internal power.
Mm-hmm.
And then 4
Stage
people are
RP1
going...
load is complete.
There you go.
There we go.
Oh, man. All right. 6.5. Pooty, thank you for becoming a Red Team member. Andre, thank you for becoming a Red Team member. And Sergeant Montgomery, thank you for the support. They say my sister, Courtney Baker, is y'all's #1 fan. Oh. All right, this is really happening. Hopefully that anvil cloud stays away and they don't have any issues with that valve they were talking about. It's kind of adding a little bit of extra spice to this one. So, as you can see, in a moment we will see strong back retract. It'll retract first partially, and then at launch itself it performs what's called a throwback, where the strong back moves even further out of the way. Go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, also the call out of Dragon being on internal on the countdown. So we should see that as well.
All right, we're all ears as we're going to watch this strong back retract.
Yeah.
LSR, thank you for gifting a Red Team membership. Miss Jackie, thanks for becoming a PadRat member. And Roger S, thanks for gifting a Red Team membership. Whole lot of new members on this one. Thank you, everybody, so much.
Pressurizing for strong back retract.
All right, once again, I just want to quickly mention, thank you, Chris, in chat. There's an International Space Station pass over the UK starting at about T plus 20 minutes.
Strongback is retracting.
Wait, sorry. The ISS is T minus 2 minutes. So ISS is going to pass over the UK in about 2 minutes here. And Dragon should be visible over the UK at about T plus 20 minutes. We were talking about that earlier. So if you're in the United Kingdom, go outside and look up. Hopefully you have clear skies. Blake Alexander, gifting 5 Red Team memberships. Seriously. Wow. Like, thank you, everybody. And Ryan in our back channel reporting that it's cloudy. Alas. Sorry, buddy. All right,
Well,
3.5 minutes to go. Alex, how are you feeling?
Super nervous.
Yep.
Boy.
Julia,
Right now
how-
with Stromberg retracting and everything, swinging.
Julia, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. My best guess is this supposed anvil cloud is kind of, from my point of view, at the press site behind the VAB. I'm watching things kind of slowly creep and wishing it going the other way. So that's my contribution right now.
Stage 1 LOX load is complete.
There we go. First stage is now fully loaded with propellants.
Excellent. So now they're going to top off the second stage, and we'll see another similar vent to the T-minus 20 minute vent. Smaller, but sort of the same kind of thing going on there, right, Alex?
Yep. Now important to get those final minutes
Dragon
down.
is in terminal count and is on internal power.
There we go.
All right, we haven't heard anything about the cloud, and we haven't heard
Oh,
anything
look at
about the valve.
the water tower.
Water tower's overflowing. That means it's full.
It's a happy water tower.
Yep.
Sometimes water
That
towers
is
can overflow
expected.
as a treat. It does it when it's happy.
Dragon SpaceX for weather, looks like the system has cleared, and we're looking like we're go for launch for weather.
Yes.
There we go.
Go for weather.
All my
Dragon
wishing
copy.
worked.
The dry thoughts worked.
Thank you, chat.
All right, minute and a half. A lot of things are going to happen in rapid succession here.
As cold gas meet.
Vehicle at about a minute in is going to go into startup. Computers are going to take over. All right, here we go. The water tower's overflowing. The vehicle is in startup. And we are ready to head to space.
Dragon, SpaceX, go for launch.
Dragon, copy. Go for launch.
T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 15. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engines full power. And liftoff, Falcon 9. Go Axiom.
Stage 1 Alpha.
Copy 1 Alpha.
Together we expand what is
Vehicle
possible
pushing
in
down
low
range.
Earth orbit. Ad Astra and Godspeed
Stage 1,
AX2.
propulsion now.
T plus 30 seconds into this historic. T plus 36 seconds into flight. A great view of Falcon 9 heading to space.
Power telemetry is now.
Bravo.
Copy, 1 Bravo.
We're at full power, and that call on 1 Bravo, that's another one of those abort modes. As we get higher and faster, the logic for Dragon, should a contingency occur, changes from stage to stage.
Impact chill is underway.
Is that a shadow on the
Announcement says
clouds?
we're getting the turbo pump on the second stage engine cooled down in preparation for its light up coming up in just another minute from now.
Beautiful shot of Falcon 9 ascending. Look at that.
It's always great when we launch people into space.
And when we get a nice, clean, uninterrupted feed, and just being able to see the clouds recede, the ocean recede, the limb of the Earth appear.
And we're coming up 3 big sequences and a view live of the crew inside Dragon. They're getting ready. We're going to get 3 events here. Main engine cutoff, stage separation, and then we're going to light the second stage engine. We've heard the throttle down in preparation for stage separation.
Nico.
2 Alpha.
Stage separation confirmed.
Copy, 2 Alpha.
And back ignition.
Stage 1, boost back startup.
All right,
Watch
stage
the right-hand side.
separation.
Wow.
We have the second stage engine. The first stage is into the boost back burn, working its way back towards Cape Canaveral.
Did you see the boost back?
Views on the left side, that's the first.
Seeing the boost back burn from the perspective of the second stage never gets old.
That's a view we cannot see from here due to those clouds. But Jack, can I tell you that those clouds did some amazing things for the launch sound here at the press site? I had my headphones on and I couldn't hear you guys through my noise canceling headphones. That's how loud it was.
Wow. Yeah, sometimes when the atmospheric conditions are just right, that audio can be extra special. That's really fun. Sorry it went into clouds for you guys, but it looked like it made some cool lighting effects at least. All right, you can go for it.
Boy, that shot, that flight is always amazing. We see there the booster has shut down on the boost back burn. It is deploying the grid fins. Boy, it's always...
Yep, now the booster will come back, and once again, it's returning to the launch site. This is the first time they've done this on a crewed mission, an RTLS with a booster.
There's the crew on the second stage, getting the ride into orbit to the space station.
They look like they're just hanging out. Like, doesn't seem like it's a big deal. Might as well be riding an airplane.
Mm-hmm.
Just casually going 8,000 kilometers an hour. 169 miles above the Earth. So now's the fun part where we get to watch the first stage first accelerate as it continues to fall towards the atmosphere, and the second stage accelerate. Then the first stage was going to slow way down before finally landing back at the launch site. Julia, are you getting ready for the sonic booms?
I am. I'm actually showing some of our Axiom guests that are here on Cape where to go to see the booster come back.
Oh, nice.
But I will be heading up on the roof to try and get a better view.
Yeah, hopefully that audio that you got
Left
for
side of the
launch
screen,
being
you
extra
can see
good
the
means the
first
booms.
stage. It's now beginning to orient itself so that the engines are pointed down towards the land as we will be descending towards landing zone 1 in Cape Canaveral. The 4 titanium.
Yeah, so hopefully you get some extra good sonic booms in addition to your extra good launch audio. All right, second stage continuing to do its job. First stage continuing to fall back into the atmosphere.
Yep. We should be coming up soon into that entry burn with just one engine. It's going to be a weird one. Rather than 3 engines.
Single engine entry burn. Kind of quirky.
So far, good call outs of good trajectory for the second stage and Dragon. So it's always good.
And they're just sitting there, casual as all get out. All right, there you go. That was entry burn on the first stage.
Yep.
Nice quick one.
And you can see that the speed of the first stage is not really that much, so you can understand why they can do that single engine entry burn, because when they do a normal re-entry for Starlink missions, for example, they're coming in at 8,000 kilometers per hour.
Yeah.
Here they were coming in at half that speed, so they are able to do that with just one engine.
Yeah, that makes sense. Is that because the boost back was so long, or?
No, it's because it's lower
inclination.
speed, just in general.
Oh, okay. There we go. Booster coming back. So cool to see Cape Canaveral grow in the camera view like that. And landing burn.
Look at that hover.
There's the booms. And touchdown. Booster 1080.
And there we go.
You make it look easy.
That was...
And there go the car alarms.
Wow, that was excellent. All right.
You could see the 3 engines on one of the shots. It's amazing.
So first stage is down. Second stage is wrapping up its work here. And that's what we want to see, an empty launch pad on launch day. Das's favorite shot. I gotta be careful saying his name. He's gonna appear back in here.
What?
Oh.
I'm always just a mute switch away, Jack.
I mean, I'm learning this. I should know this already. But yeah, we're coming up on second engine cutoff. And at that point, we'll wait a little bit, and then Dragon will separate from the second stage. There you go. Second stage engine cutoff.
It's always the confusing part of SpaceX launches because, there are still people in the capsule going the rest of the way into stable orbit, and the booster comes back and it's all exciting and there's sonic booms, right? But it's not mission complete until they've got that capsule in a stable orbit. Go ahead.
Look at them. There's smiles all across.
Yeah, they're feeling the weightlessness. You can see the 0G indicator floating around too. I would be bummed out if I was in one of the seats that was not next to it. I'd be like, hey, throw it over here. Because it's kind of on its little tether.
You feel like take your own 0G indicator in case you don't get the official one.
Right. Das, somebody asked earlier if you could take one personal item into space, what would you take?
Sandwich.
Corned beef sandwich?
No, I'm kidding. I mean, one personal item, like, I have no clue. Like, every scrap of clothing you take would be cool, but I don't have, like, one awesome little thing here. I do have something in my wallet. Like, I used to go to, like, PAX, Penny Arcade Expo, and stuff like that, and I did my Kerbal teaching online, and I had a dad and their daughter walk up to me one day and give me a little drawing of a rocket and said, we had to find you at the con. Here's a little drawing of a rocket my daughter did, and we just wanted you to have it. It's literally a Post-it note that I keep in my wallet. And so if I had one thing, it's a Post-it note. Hopefully that doesn't count as my one thing, but I would take that to space because it was really cool to have somebody walk up to me and say, we watched your show on Twitch, and we drew this drawing of a rocket for you and hand it to me. It's still, I have it in my hand right now because I had my wallet on my desk. So there you go.
That's amazing and heartwarming.
Yeah.
Somebody in chat says they would take their dog. I guess that would count as a personal item.
Depends
but
on
then
how
you
much
don't have any
dog weighs.
But then you don't have any food or anything for the dog, because that would also be a personal item. I love that they're all just experimenting with weightlessness. This is amazing.
They dropped.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you didn't drop something, but somebody lost something in the upper right there.
Welp. They'll find it later.
We see a lot of Falcon 9 missions, but this is definitely tops any of those because there's humans. It's amazing.
Hope had to grab the tablet stylus there to draw on the tablet, the knee top tablet. It looks like.
Right. I mean, it goes to show why things are tethered down the way that they are. Because they will float away.
Yeah. You have the two people in the side seats there that like don't get the entertainment console in front of them. I mean, the super important spacecraft controls.
You mean
lean over into their
Alexa?
Yeah.
You gotta wonder to what extent the people are like backseat flying. I guess it wouldn't be driving. Backseat flying. Be like, no, don't press that button. Press this button. Like, come on, I am the commander. I will turn this capsule around and take us home, and no Disneyland for anybody.
The seats are like back a little bit, so you couldn't reach if you wanted to. Like the two, not shotgun seats, the side seats, right? Look at that.
There we go. Drag and deploy. That looks good.
So that's the trunk, right? Like they don't need to take that with it. That is the trunk that's leaving, right?
Yep, we're looking up into the empty trunk.
Yeah. So it's got the fins on it that are stabilization parts for a abort, if I'm not mistaken. But there's no cargo in the trunk here, and so why drag it to the space station with you?
No junk in the trunk.
Is that what is this camera? Hang on.
Chief Engineer
It's turning sideways a little bit. Look.
It was a phenomenal ride.
That's got solar panels on it, Jack. That's the Dragon.
Yes. We're looking at the solar panels are on the trunk.
Joy of zero G with your crew.
You can see there the.
We will do that.
The space was black, and the space around it was black, and I thought we were looking through something
you can
at first.
see Dragon's Draco thrusters
No,
activating.
that's Dragon separating.
Yeah, and then it tilted sideways, and I'm like, wait a second, that's solar panels on that thing.
You thought we ditched the trunk. No, we haven't ditched the trunk yet.
I thought we had already, I was like, wait, well, why are they doing that right now? But whatever. I thought I was looking right through it because it was all black.
All right, now let's try and figure out what model iPads these are. I'm kidding.
Dragon copies.
All right, great news there to let us know that the hooks, there are two sets of hooks.
Signal, Bermuda.
Two sets of hooks that are now disengaging. And once that is complete, we are able to deploy, open the nose cone.
All right.
You can see the thruster firings there. That's the Crew Dragon priming its thrusters, making sure that they all work accordingly. It's really neat seeing those pushes floof all the way.
Is the yaw
looks like an actual dragon?
Is it intentional how it sort of yawed to one side, or is it not? Is that just an artifact of the thruster priming, or what?
Yeah, it is. It is sometimes. Yeah, most of the times you can see that. It is also probably the second stage turning away, because it usually rotates as it's already left Dragon in orbit. So, okay, bye-bye. It's my time to go away. Because now the second stage is gonna do its deorit burn and burn up in the ocean. So over the ocean, I mean.
For a little while there, they were like using the second stage looking up as a camera platform almost.
Yeah, that's one heck of a camera platform.
Yeah. I still think that SpaceX or spacecraft should have little camera drones that fly away from the spacecraft and view it from a third-person perspective.
Yeah, that was something. What was it? China did that with like a lunar rover and their lander. They had like a little camera ball that.
Yeah, dropped a camera or something. Yeah. I think
such a cool way.
They need to do more stuff like that, like just interesting shots that haven't been done before.
Oh, that reminds me that Polaris Dome is gonna have a free flyer camera.
It should. That's a good idea.
So that's a great idea. Not good. It's like a heck of a great idea.
Surprised they took our advice
more
so quickly.
Of those. Yeah, we want more of those.
Oh, we got our American flag waving and the countdown clock there, and then some SpaceX hosts on the side. Well, you don't listen to the SpaceX hosts a lot, but sometimes that's just the feed. What is this? I'm not a SpaceX host.
But you're an NSF host.
Kind of.
Well, who knows? We're having a lot of NSF folks are going to SpaceX.
This is coming up in 7 minutes. We normally don't have like one show after the current show, like an actual network, I guess, right? Like normally it's like, okay, the stream's over, everybody go home, but this is like premiering in 6 minutes now. And I get to see what the world thinks about me spraying a pressure washer in my backyard.
I'm sure no internet experts will have anything to say one way or another whatsoever. It'll be completely unremarkable from the comment standpoint.
I hedged my bets in some places, Jack, and I actually like said, well, here's the spot where all the armchair rocket scientists are going to tell me I'm wrong, because I figured that people would be chiming in with their own opinions of things. So it'll be interesting to see what folks' reaction are to this. There's a lot that sort of goes into it or doesn't go into it. Like, I didn't actually have rocket engines. I actually want to do one with real rocket engines, but, you know.
Do it.
I didn't find any Raptors that fell off a truck going from McGregor South or anything like that. So
Given the state of Highway 4, I'm kind of surprised you didn't.
Yeah. Just stay next to a big pothole on Highway 4 and wait until a Raptor falls off a truck.
Yeah, right. For real, this video is going to be really good. I'm excited for it.
Hey, wait, okay, time out. We can go back and forth between these things. Which thumbnail is more interesting for a video? As the Axiom-2 mission continues on its way, is this an interesting thumbnail, like me with the safety glasses on and a starship with some question marks? Or can we go to the other one? I don't know if this is going back and forth automatically.
Somebody in chat said giant DOS, and I can't unsee it.
Yeah, okay, here we go. Like, no DOS on the thumbnail. Like, this is yet another starship thumbnail, right? I'm reading chat right now. Which thumbnail would you be more interested in actually going to click on? One with me and a pressure washer, or one that's just more shots of Starship?
I'm not gonna bias chat for once. I'm gonna let them decide.
You can't say that one. Like, I don't know which is which. Like, there's a lot of DOS thumbnails, and look at that. Okay, well, there's a lot scrolling.
People have strong opinions about thumbnails.
Yeah, that's not a scale, 1-to-1 scale. It's actually the art of Photoshop there. We should do a poll. Oh, look!
Someone did a poll.
Oh, here's another thumbnail. This is the actual thumbnail I think we went with.
Oh, I kind of like this one because just the look on your face is like, yeah, we have to talk about this because it happened.
We did.
It's like for real mad dad vibes. Like, oh, I just got a bad report card.
I don't think anybody is going to know what is on the right-hand side. Like, once you know what it is, it's a pressure washer nozzle firing at some, like, red dirt, right? But I think people on YouTube are going to see that and be like, what the heck is that?
Well, that's what we want,
Maybe
right?
that'll make them click. I mean, they want to know.
Maybe so. We have 617 replies, and we're 81% DOS on thumb. Not that this was a scientific poll, because the no DOS says sad noises. So clearly the pollster influencing the votes here. Thanks, Chris. Anyways,
for the record, I vote Team DOS on thumbnail.
Okay, so pressure washer, like my photo of dirty safety glasses there, or thumbnail of me looking disappointed at SpaceX's launch attempt?
I like the disappointed one, honestly.
The disappointed. I should have done more of a photo shoot. Like, I was absolutely soaked. Because the whole thing was seeing if it would spray stuff back at the bottom of the rocket. If you hit a high velocity fluid that broke through a hard layer into a softer layer.